Some children dream of having a new pair of shoes, some dream of having a room of their own, and some children, even at a young age, dream of something much bigger, not only for themselves but for their families. One of them was Rene Baterbonia. Born and raised in Talacogon, Agusan del Sur, Rene came from a simple family. He didn't grow up with expensive basketball academies or professional training facilities. All he had was a basketball, a simple court, and a dream that would eventually take him farther than he ever imagined. Rene was the second of 7 siblings. Growing up in a large family meant learning early that life was not always easy. There were daily expenses, food, education, and countless needs that had to be shared. As a proud Manobo and a beneficiary of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, Rene saw firsthand how difficult life could be. But poverty never became an excuse to give up. Instead, it became one of the reasons he dreamed bigger. Because Rene understood something at a young age. Dreaming was not enough. He had to find a way to turn that dream into reality. Rene's father was once a basketball player. Perhaps this was where Rene first discovered his love for the game. But life took his father in a different direction. He eventually became a tricycle driver to provide for the family. His mother, meanwhile, sold fish to help make ends meet. Every day they worked, not because it was easy, but because they had to. And Rene saw all of it. He saw his father's exhaustion. He saw his mother's sacrifices. And while holding a basketball, a promise slowly began to grow inside him. One day, he would be the one helping his family. Rene's story did not begin in an expensive basketball academy. It began on a simple court. The floor wasn't perfect. The basketball ring wasn't new, and he didn't have all the equipment that other young athletes had. But to Rene, none of that mattered. If there was a basketball, a hoop, and enough time to play, that was enough. Dribble, run, shoot, miss, pick up the ball, and do it all over again, day after day. That was where Rene learned one of the most important lessons of his life. You don't need to have everything to get started. Sometimes you simply have to make the most of what you have. Coaches and teammates would later become important parts of Rene's journey, but before all of them, there was his father. As a former basketball player, his father passed down his knowledge and love for the game. Their training was simple: no big gym, no expensive equipment, no spotlight, just a father and son sharing time on a basketball court. Those moments became part of the foundation of Rene's basketball career. And as the years passed, the boy who once played on a simple court began to stand out. Eventually, he was given the chance to test himself against bigger, stronger, and more experienced players. Then came one of the biggest opportunities of his young career: Palarong Pambansa. For many young athletes, reaching the national school sports competition is already a dream. For Rene, it was a chance to show how far his hard work could take him. In front of bigger crowds and tougher competition, he didn't back down. He scored, he defended, he attacked the basket, and he displayed the explosive style of play that would become one of his trademarks. The boy who started playing on a simple court in Mindanao was now standing on one of the biggest stages in Philippine youth sports. Then came the moment he had dreamed about. Rene Baterbonia, a Palarong Pambansa MVP. For a young athlete, it was an incredible achievement. But one trophy could never tell the entire story. It could never show the countless hours of practice, the exhaustion, the sacrifices of his family, or the young boy who kept playing despite coming from a simple background. The MVP award was more than recognition of his talent. It represented every moment when Rene chose not to give up. But Rene wasn't chasing success only for himself. Behind every achievement was a much bigger dream. He wanted to lift his family out of poverty. He didn't simply want to become a famous basketball player. He wanted to repay his parents. He wanted to help his siblings. And he wanted the day to come when he could tell his family, it doesn't have to be this difficult forever. That was why every game meant more than basketball. Whenever Rene stepped onto the court, he carried his family's hopes with him. From Talacogon, Rene's world continued to grow. From provincial basketball to Palarong Pambansa, he eventually reached the Philippine youth basketball team. And at that moment, he was no longer carrying only his own name. He was carrying the name of the Philippines. For a boy who started on a simple basketball court, wearing the national colors was something extraordinary. The young player who once practiced under the heat of the sun was now representing his country. International competition was different. The game was faster, the opponents were stronger, and every mistake mattered. But Rene's mindset remained the same. Trust the training, stay disciplined, keep fighting. He showed that a young athlete from a simple community could compete with some of the best young players in the region. And every game became another opportunity to prove that where you come from does not determine how far you can go. And once again, Rene reached the top. Gold medal at the ASEAN School Games. As he held the gold medal, perhaps his thoughts went back to where everything began. The old basketball court, his father, his mother, his siblings, and the days when he didn't know where his dream would lead him. Now he had proof. It was possible. Possible to dream bigger, possible to rise above hardship, and possible to reach places he once could only imagine. But his journey was far from over. Another door was opening. Ateneo, the dream of becoming a Blue Eagle. For a young athlete from a simple family in Agusan del Sur, it was a massive opportunity. College basketball, higher competition, bigger audiences, and an even greater chance to build the future he had always dreamed of for his family. It seemed like the next chapter of Rene's story was only beginning. But as the dream became bigger, so did the responsibility. Training became harder, expectations became higher, and there was more to prove. But Rene already knew what it took. Work, discipline, consistency. Talent alone was never enough. You had to prove yourself every single day. And while preparing for his future, Rene never forgot the reason he started in the first place: his family. In June 2026, Rene joined his teammates for a team-building activity in Aurora. It was supposed to be an ordinary day, a day filled with laughter, bonding, and memories with the people who had become part of his basketball journey. No one knew how quickly everything would change. In an unexpected tragedy, Rene's life came to an end at just 18 years old. 18, an age when he should have had many more games ahead of him, many more dreams, many more moments with his family, and most of all, many more tomorrows. For the basketball community, a promising young athlete was gone. But for his family, they had lost something much greater: a son, a brother, someone they had supported and loved since the beginning of his journey. His mother, Rovlin, was left to face the pain of losing her son and the dreams she would never get to see him fulfill. His remains were brought to a private cemetery, and as flowers and condolences continued to arrive, one thing became clear: Rene's life had touched more people than he probably ever realized. Rene's life may have been short, only 18 years, but the impact he left behind cannot be measured in years alone. By medals, he achieved many. By basketball, he became a Palarong Pambansa MVP, an international gold medalist, and a young athlete who was only beginning to reach the next level of his career. But by inspiration, his legacy is much harder to measure, because his story lives on in every young player practicing on an old basketball court, in every child dreaming of lifting their family out of poverty, and in every athlete who chooses to keep going, even when the journey becomes difficult. From a simple basketball court in Talacogon, to Palarong Pambansa, to wearing the colors of the Philippines, to winning gold at the ASEAN School Games, and toward his dream of becoming a Blue Eagle, Rene proved that where you come from does not have to limit where you can go. A life can be short, but the inspiration it leaves behind can last far beyond a lifetime. And as long as there is a young boy holding a basketball, practicing on a simple court, and dreaming of changing his family's life, Rene Baterbonia's dream is still alive.